What is up, guys? Hello, family, friends, and complete and utter strangers. Today, I want to talk to you about the financial freedom of getting offline, or not using your phone, or not using social media, or whatever I end up titling the video. But first, I need to make my hair manageable, so excuse me. Off the bat, I gotta say, my partner, fiance, I got engaged, just got a new job, and so his work schedule is completely different, and so my recording schedule is gonna be completely different. He gets home in an hour. Let's do this. Moral of the story here, I absolutely hate social media. And I think in a true sense, here, let me look at the mirror. I am asexual toward social media. If I were to make it analogous to sexuality, I am asexual, asocial media, a being the Greek word for no or non. When you think about sexuality, attraction, when you think about attraction and how you like things, let's just say I was boy crazy, internet crazy in my youth. You may have seen my video about not using social media. I'll pop it over here. I was online constantly from the age of 0 to 13, 12, 14, 15, 16, nonstop. And so I just said at one point, no more, no mas, Taco Bell, no mas. And so I can't do it anymore. And you know what I need to do? I need to be productive in life. I need to literally be productive without the gamble of being famous on social media. That is ironic to say because I have a channel. I do take the gamble. I do use my time to share ideas with you guys. But that's besides the point, right? So, what is the real point here? I'm moving. After wanting to buy a house for 5 years, am finally doing it. So, this is gonna be loud, right? And so what do I mean by financial freedom and getting offline? I'm saying the internet is causing both a confluence, a convergence, a intertwining of shopaholicism as well as complete and utter freaking laziness due to dopamine endorsement through happy fun times. Not even happy fun times. It can be literally the rage bait. People can get addicted to whatever emotion they're watching online. I just have to super interject also. At no point during the recording of this video do I say rent is a scam. And when you buy a house and pay your mortgage, every time you pay into the mortgage, you are actually paying yourself. When you don't include the interest, you are only paying on your principal, and your principal is your equity in your home. And so not only is mortgage almost always cheaper than a monthly rent, it's not supposed to go up every year, and it's also cheaper than rent, and you're paying yourself. And so if you're able to pay more than your monthly mortgage and get your principal lower and lower and lower, and then more and more and more equity to yourself, apartments are a scam. Rent is a scam. Literally, there are so many ways to save money. I don't even know what to title this video at this point. Let's be honest, there are so many ways I could title this video, be it the whole trends I'm not following, propaganda I'm not buying into, or I'm moving, just like every other influencer in the entire world right now. Sort of, not everyone, literally. That would be chaos. But the real truth of the matter is the average age in the US to buy a house is somewhere in the age of 50. And a few years ago, there was a whole, you know, these millennials aren't gonna be able to buy houses because of all of the avocado toast they're buying and eating and all the coffees, and no one took it seriously, right? I may be the only one who took it seriously, and in a real way I was agreeing with all of those articles every single time that I saw them. To interject some words of wisdom here, I have to say I was not buying, oh my gosh, to see an article that read people were buying $9 avocado toast from a restaurant? What? Oh, the camera's here. No, I don't want to buy avocados for $2 each. Even if that would be a quarter of an avocado on one toast, making it 50 cents, and then a piece of toast is like, I don't know, 15 cents. I'm not gonna spend 75 cents on an avocado toast. That's how much money I don't want to spend. And not even to mention, when I was in college, I did go out and buy a coffee every day, but Cash App had this awesome thing that gave you a little coupon every time you used it for Starbucks. And so I'd order 2 shots of espresso and pay 80 cents. Use the half and half from the counter. Half and half, 2 shots over ice. It's one of my favorite drinks in the world. Please tell me if it has a name. If it doesn't, it should be the Artem special. Yum, 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 yum. So yeah, I don't understand the world right now and the world we're living in. And I'm starting to see a trickle of what is called de-influencing, which is more than fantastic, I can't lie. The whole propaganda I'm not falling for, blah, 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 is just too fantastic. But this is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. It's dirty now, look at that. According to an influencer, it would be garbage, right? Not even show-offable. But this is a Moleskine notebook, and if you don't know, Moleskine is like a high quality, but also is just slightly overpriced because it's a name brand notebook company. And what they did was collaborate with the Wizard of Oz. And I actually got this like literally years before the Oz movie came out. 2021. Okay, yeah. A little ditty on overcoming creative pessimism, which is a term I coined on the fact that no one thinks anyone can do anything original, and that originality doesn't exist. It's fake. It cannot exist anymore. And my whole philosophy is that it can. But what we're doing is just copying and pasting the same thing online over and over and over again. I took a couple screen clips of videos I saw. I'm literally using my phone to record the audio, and they're not yet iClouded over to my computer. So maybe that'll be a whole different video where we can look at Instagram clips together, or maybe I'll just pop them over here, some B-roll. So basically the thing is, people have a presence online, and we gotta keep up appearances. We gotta keep buying crap. We gotta do every single thing we can to get seen, to get the views. And the hard part about writing a philosophy like this, and my entire book and my whole thesis, is there's two sides to this coin. There's the consumers and then there's the producers. And then there's this weird intersection now where if you even just post online and the algorithm finds it, you might soon become one of the producers yourself, as well as a consumer, because who really gets away from that? So, moral of the story, everyone online kind of sucks. Not everyone. That is egregious to say. Most people online kind of freaking suck. When they are the case of copy paste, do it all over and over again. This is one of my journals here. This is some art that I took the time to do and show absolutely no one, because sometimes you don't need to see every single piece of art. And here we can find an awesome page, because it's like a journal, right? On buying a house in 2022. Look at me showing my age. But they keep saying the market's terrible. Don't buy a house right now. Blah, 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 blah. The market's never gonna be better because people only want more money. There's never gonna be less people who are like, oh, I could take out a loan and then buy an additional property and then rent it out, or micro rent it out with Airbnbs and blah, blah, blah. You know, throw a freaking coat of paint on it but not fix the foundation, sell it to some other schmuck. Like, so, you know, I guess a part of me feared that the whole thing will never stop getting more expensive, all of that awesome goodness. You know, when you're packing up a desk, what the heck do I even pack up? I need it all. I need all my stickers. What if I need a sticker in a brief moment? Who would know? What was I talking about? Financial freedom, to get down to the point of it, is I have been wearing the same clothes since 8th grade. And I know that that is very privileged to say, and you might be wondering how the heck I did that. But I stopped growing in like 4th, 5th grade, right? I'm only 4'10". LOL, it's not just because they still fit, it's because they still haven't fallen apart yet. The clothes I bought 10, 15 years ago are cotton, you know, real fabrics, not plastic, that biodegrades while you're wearing them. Just, when you grow up in a really broke, poor, poverty-stricken household, you learn sometimes hand-me-downs are just as good as going to the mall. But that is not to say I didn't also make very strict decisions. For instance, when I got a loan to go to college, they gave me a whole bunch of money, and with that I said, I will either travel the world or use it to pay back my loans directly. And funny enough, I used it to travel to Chicago because that's where my sister was living, and then I traveled to Oregon because that's where my grandparents were living. But you know what I did with the rest of it? I used it to study hard and be able to pay my rent. And again, I understand that is a privileged thing to do. But I've also heard, like, if you take a loan out for going to school, that is something that often happens, and people will, like, jump ship with the money, right? But anyways, but what I also did while I was in college was start paying my student loans years before they were due. And so what this did is get me on track to having a fantastic credit score for full, you know, transparency. It's above 740. Right? I feel like I'm forgetting a step here. Saving money. You just save money. You don't waste your money. There was a point in college, though, where my favorite place to shop was the mall, and my favorite mascara was $50. But I soon realized that it was all silly and nothing fit. And everything was made poorly. Aside from the mascara was made well, but it was $50. So I had to give that up, girlfriend. You gotta give up the $50 mascara. Just to give you guys an awesome example, I wanted to show you some jackets that I bought in 8th grade, ones that are supposed to be high quality. Something name brand from a high quality store and plastic. So I don't know if you know about the members only brand, but they're supposed to be good, right? Except maybe when you sell to Burlington Coat Factory and you make it not good. Now, of course, maybe I mistreated this pleather, and maybe I have the most dehydrating apartment in the entire world. But what about cotton? What about cotton, guys? Let's check out this jacket here. This is another jacket I bought in 8th grade. It's Ralph Lauren. Perfectly fine condition. Why? 'Cause it's cotton. Guys, like, wasting your money. See this lovely, amazing jacket? Freaking Shein. I bought it at a thrift store because I was like, it's cute. But at the same time, I literally can't wear it because plastic hurts my skin. I need to literally change this liner, is what I need. But that is not to say, I've been out of college for a while. That is not to say I have been saving up for a house for years and years on end. No, I have actually had to start over saving money numerous times. And this includes, you know, food becoming ridiculously expensive, but also having a dog when I care about his health. And so I would get his teeth cleaned, and that would be upwards of $500 to $700. And I also wanted to support my Boo Bear in trying to be an artist, an independent artist, and that also drained the savings account because the art economy in the 2020s was bad. Not to say it wasn't the worst decision of our life. It was fantastic. We learned a lot of stuff, but it didn't work out. So I started saving all over again, basically starting from zero. I can't actually remember how much it took to save up, but I am actually buying a house with a loan, as well as down payment assistance programs, where all you actually need to do is take an online test to get a certification pretty picture that says you know what you're doing. And so am I buying a house? Technically, no. Technically, I've only put $900 into it. And that's it. But I got the approvals from the bank because you need to show that you have a nice safety net savings account and that you have much more than the $900 required to do it. And you need a fantastic credit score. And also they look through your like 2 months of banking. So I was sitting there like, I hope they don't judge my purchases, because yeah, I'm really trying to think what the heck to pack here. I've got too much crap is the real point. And that's part of the conversation, isn't it? It's crap. And how we surround ourselves with crap. But the coloring book that I've colored in 2 times, and the box of pencils that's missing 2 pencils, this is more toward the end of crap. That's the thing, is people are becoming quite attuned to buying the exclusive things. And that isn't even to say it has to be expensive. Sometimes it just has to feel urgent. For instance, thrift shopping. If you don't get it now, it's not gonna be here the next time you're here. You know, and that might be true. That might be exactly how thrift shopping works. But doesn't it also kind of make it like, kind of like a gamble? Like there's a spark of adrenaline, dopamine, and a rush, being like, I found like gold digging. Like literally, you're going through the nature, the water, the dirt, the everything, and then you find a piece of gold, and then you're like, pachow, with your neurological chemical brain. It's just the same. And if you're like, if I set this piece of gold down, someone else is just gonna pick it right back up. And that is likely the case, because that is how gold works, right? But anyways, what I wanted to say was I've been actively avoiding addictive tendencies because I have an addictive personality for a very long time. And so I don't go online and see, oh, I need the latest fashion trend. Like, I literally can't even think of any examples besides the Stanley Cup, right? But that's an example. And every time I hear the word Stanley Cup, I just think of hockey, right? Or whatever sport that is in. This was a present from my fiance. But I told him, I was like, girlfriend, you have to stop. A, you have to stop buying me toys, and B, you have to stop buying yourself toys. There is a huge thing about buying for your inner child right now. And isn't that just the name of the game? Every single problem is about buying things. If you don't have this, then you need this. Or like getting into hobbies, like, because you see people doing the coolest, craziest hobbies online, and it's like, I need to do that. And then I need the most expensive Lego set, or I need the most expensive markers, or
I can't have another expensive hobby. This is crazy. But it's so fun. What do I...
But you know how they say that redoing a kitchen costs an arm and a leg? Okay, a whole one of these and one of those. Yeah, it freaking does. And I'm not saying I need to redo my whole new kitchen, but I needed a few things. I need a new fridge, it needs new flooring, and I want it to be yellow. That is a me thing, but it is not necessarily out of questionly unnecessary, because psychology says that yellow makes you very happy and energetic. And if I'm going to be living out in the middle of nowhere, I do need to be surrounded. Like, I'm a sim, okay? I need my attractiveness points and my surroundings decorations points. They're real, okay? So that, ooh, it is kind of like this color too. So excited. Anyways, what I found was, oh man, is disparity the word? There is a range of prices when it comes to refrigerators. They go from like $500 to like $3,000, or maybe more than $3,000. I think I actually remember kind of seeing one that was like $7,000 to $8,000, and I'm like, for a house, for a consumer's house, like who the heck can afford this? Like, the most averagely cost price should be $500, right? It's not. There's one fridge available for $500, and it's the same white classic fridge that I have lived with my entire life. In this apartment, in all of my homes growing up, not to throw my dad under the bus, but he just got himself one of those steel-cased boys, one of those French doors and the drawer on the bottom, and I'm just sitting over here thinking, like, I don't need that. I don't need to spend an extra $1,000 for it to look like it's from the future, right? But maybe at the same time, I'm just over here like, I want to build a house from 2007 because that was a pretty good year. You know, it was pre-2008, pre-recession, anyways. You don't need more than a $500 freezer. And I'm over here like, why doesn't it have a slot for the ice tray? That's weird. But it does have more shelves. It's got a whole shelf going on. And so I actually went down to what is called the Restore. And this is a store for, it's like a thrift store for housing projects with materials that were not finished or didn't need to be finishing the project. That's the long and short of it. And I actually found the cutest school chair. I've been looking at thrift stores for school chairs for forever. And it's really cool or funny because I found it in the clearance section, and I was like, there's no clearance tag on it. So I found the woman who like owns the joint, and I was like, hey, there's no clearance tag on an item in the clearance area. And she was like, I love this piece. I've been waiting for someone to come and buy it. I don't know how it's sat in here for so long. It's $15. And I was like, wow, I am going to have to find a place for this in my apartment for the next few weeks or months because I'm in love. And that is my type of shopping, where you wait and you wait and you wait until you find something absolutely perfect, like couldn't be more perfect. Like this Tetris piece, these pencils fit all too perfectly. And sometimes when you're at thrift shopping, it's not going to be number one perfect. And so for that reason, you can move on. Other things will exist in the world. I do buy for my own inner child too, but I can't lie, I had some, this is not me pulling out an example, this is something Lauren built or something. I bought this bad boy because it was something I had growing up. It's a queen cast iron cooking set that you can use to cook miniature food. You can melt wax for cool wax seals. And I told Lauren, I was like, there are a few things that if I saw at the thrift store, I would have to buy it. A few things. But yeah, so for me, collecting has been ruined because of the internet. I have a sticker collection that I started as a wee lad that is very, 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 very small. In addition to pins and buttons and all of that goodness. But the thing is, it's because I have a rule. One rule. You can only buy them in person. You can only find them in person. I don't know if you can see this from there. This is a Pink Floyd's The Wall pin that I actually got from a Roger Waters Pink Floyd's The Wall concert. So shout out, little there. And so for that reason, my collection is very small, very, very lame. There are many stickers where I'm like, that's super cool, I want to buy it. But it's like $15 for one sticker. And I'm over here like, I'm probably actually never going to use it, so I shouldn't. Even though I'm obsessed with stickers or pins and buttons and all of that awesome goodness. Obsessed. But I'm not going to spend $15 on a sticker or more or less. And I guess it depends. For like Etsy, small things, that'd be great. For more like, you know, made for Target garbage, I would never order that online. But like, oh, here's a great one I got from the dentist. It's a cow that says awesome. That's what my collection's gonna be. They're gonna be pieces of memories where I'm not overwhelmed by how much there is because I didn't just shop online. Like, I literally saw a commercial for, I don't know what it was, eBay, maybe? And it was all like, get the last piece for your collection on eBay. And I'm just sitting over here like, no, that's not how collections work. If that's how collections work, you would have the entire collection the instant you decided you wanted it. And the only thing stopping you is money. Or in the instance of like any card game ever, then you're playing with the gamble of buying a whole bunch of packs to then see if you get them all, right? But you won't.
But we won't.
Like 9.999% of the times, you won't.
We're slowly learning that fact.
Unless, of course, you bought them more individually. And then in that case, it's like way more expensive. Like a pack of cards is like $3? I have no idea. But then if you want that one specific card, it's going to be anywhere between like 25 cents and $1 million. I actually can't remember the whole like Post Malone, MTG, The Ring story. But that's basically how it goes. Because when it comes to rarities and exclusivities, anything can be priced in any freaking fashion. You know, it just depends on how you price it, how you value it, what the frick you want to do there. I was looking up tile prices, okay? And I wanted beautiful tiles for the kitchen, dining, open area. And oh my God, do they range, okay? So a square foot, you know, I'm just gonna grab a notebook here. Square foot is 12 inches. 12 inches, that's a square foot. And so how many of those would you assume is in a big old kitchen dining? A lot. All right, for my instance, it's about shy of 300. And it's so if you want what every single house in the whole mother freaking world has, which is like that gray wood crap, no offense, anyone, of course, I don't want that. No, it's like, I don't know, like 88 cents a square foot. And you times that by 300, it's still about, you know, 250, 300 maybe with taxes. And I'm over here like, but I wanted tile. I want beautiful tile. I want a beautiful house. I want anything blue or with designs on them. Like, do you remember back in the day when you go to your Gram's house and she's got the weirdest flooring going on? And it's all like, what even is this design? Where did you find this? Are you from the past?
I'm sorry, are you from the past?
And it's like, yes, literally, we're from the past, looking into the past and saying, why is there no color in the world now? Why is everything faux wood, to which when you have real floor, the floor next to the dining is wood. It's real wood. So I'm not about to put fake wood next to real wood. That would be silly. It would look bad. And back to being a Sims character, we can't have a house that looks bad. And it is technically about aesthetics, but when you study philosophy, aesthetics has a much different word. This is about looking good for myself. And living an hour from my family, I needed a sane looking house, not wood next to a fake wood. And so I was looking at the tiles that I really wanted. The blue ones with the white centered piece, or flowers, preferably flowers. Anything with flowers would be great, but there's none. There's no flowers. There's no blue. I didn't look for any other colors, any other color options, but there's no color options, period. But I found something that resembles blue at a quarter of the cost. Not even a quarter of the cost. Because what I found in the actual real tile market was upwards of like $5, $10 to $25 a square foot. A square freaking foot. Times that by 300, you're looking at a project that could be anywhere between $1, $2, $3, $4, $5,000, depending on how elegant and artisanal you want to get. Okay, and I like elegance. I like artisanal. I just want colors. I just want design. You know. And so it's just not fair to think why everyone has the same cheapo wood. It's because that's all that's available in an affordable rate. And why did I not get that? Because I saved up money to get something that I want. And what I want is a yellow kitchen with blue floors and white trim. Very specifically. I couldn't be more specific. And maybe here in 5 years down the road, I can save up maybe I can set a budget for like $2,000 for some crazy beautiful tiles that are gonna be ridiculously expensive and not make any sense to put into the house equity-wise, but it would be for me. What I got, the vinyl tile, which is like this gray version of blue, lasts, then it'll last, okay? I joke you not. I moved into this apartment 6.5 years ago? A long time ago. And it's like, I'm still working with the same exact dollar store toilet brush. The same exact broom with the pan that doesn't fit it broom. Like, I went to the dollar store, none of the brooms had pans, and so I got this handheld little dustpan, and that was the pan for the broom as well, twofers. Still doesn't fit it, but it hasn't broken, and I'm not about to just put plastic in the freaking world without using it until it's literally actually falling apart. And so that's not even to mention way earlier the whole stocking videos. Like, it's not Christmas time. Why are we stocking our house like it's a GD, Walmart, Target, gas station, like Ulta, Beauty? Like, I don't understand how people go through much stuff. I use the same compact of eye covering foundation for fucking 10 years. And Samantha was all like, oh, my sister, she was like, you shouldn't use that. We bought that, it was like in middle school. Things expire. More things to just buy because they make the product way too big. And it's like, well, why'd you make the bottle so big if the expiration? Like, this is literally why Lush makes small things of skin drink lotion only, which is the best lotion. I am on a huge budget, so I have since replaced it with Burt's Bees' Daily Calming Lotion, which works semi-just as well. It is a lotion and not a creme. A little dabble, do ya? So, tangent aside, it's gonna cost me about $500 to do the paint, $100 the floor, $400, and then $500 for the fridge, totaling to a revamp cost of only $1,000. When if I were to Google like average revamp cost, it's probably gonna be ridiculous. It's probably gonna be thousands. And that's not, what really comes to mind is all of the videos talking about how expensive a wedding should be. And I'm over here like, Long story short, I bought a house. And the only way I could do it was to just not follow trends. Wear the same clothes over and over. Hand-me-downs. I'm still getting hand-me-downs from people. Is the real deal. Actually, I bought this sweater. The world ended in 2012. Actually from Krayshawn's website. Anyways, I don't buy things for myself very often. And when I do, I make it last. I will wear this until there are 0 gems on it, actually, is the real deal. I will wash it as little as possible. But I'll still wear it. So Lauren's gonna be home literally any second. I have to wrap up the video. So with that, thanks for coming. Thanks for packing with me. Thanks for enjoying this rant. I have no idea what the title is gonna be, but here's how you move in 2025. Get the frig offline. I guess that's the real thing. That's not it. Just stop shopping. Did I say enough in this video that I am a shopaholic? I don't think I have. I'll buy crap a lot. I love shopping, but I also really like buying what I want to buy. And if it takes time to save up for that, I will. Because I realize you only save money to spend it. And so now I'm spending it. And it feels pretty exciting because it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I am about to kill this apartment. I hate it so much. I'm gonna stab it. I hate this apartment so much because I have a lot of hobbies and a lot of crap because I do buy a lot of stuff. And the thing is, I never throw anything away because there's no such thing as trends in this house. There is only more stuff. So with that, I can't wait to see you on the next one. I want to share my adventure in this, but I also want to share more of my thoughts and feelings on how the world is going today and the whole thing about online world making everyone a consumeristic robot. I just had to throw in my 2 cents there, because as soon as I realized that the whole social media was just trying to be famous and had to trot, and not to mention way too many people commenting on my stuff like, oh, you're hot, and I'm all like, ew. I'm like, get out of there. You gotta get out of there. And whenever something makes you upset or makes you think you should buy a whole bunch of stuff, aka you're upset now, you gotta get out of there. You gotta get out of there. P.S. I just saw Lauren. It's totally him pulling in. There's literally, it's a parking lot. It could be anyone, but it's totally him. So I'm going to leave it at that. This has been a wonderful talk. And yeah, thanks for joining. If you made it all the way to the end, you are a super duper tripper star, and I love you so very much. Sorry for the big wide shot here. I streamed I streamed a while ago, and I found talking and standing is fun. Easier, super duper. Either way, I'll catch you on the next one. Holla! No, that's not a thing. I love you. Bye.